Okay, it's almost noon. It's an absolutely perfect day here in Riga. And so I'm going to go for a walk to a really nice park. I'm kind of staying in the north of Riga in a pretty big area where there's a lot of housing. And so right next to it is a really, really big park, multi-use park. Lots of things are there. And I visited it yesterday and it was quite nice. So I'm going to go back today and video some of it so you guys can see what it's like. It's a great area, and we'll see some architecture as well. Some of the houses here, the construction is much more different than in the US and in many other European cities. So let's go take a look and see what we can find.
It's kind of hard to see, but there's baby seagulls on that roof in the... There they are. And the mother seagull just landed with some food. And have a nest right there, it looks like. It's pretty cool. I've never seen baby seagulls before, and I grew up on the coast where they had lots of seagulls, but never saw baby seagulls. It's pretty cool. Yeah, see, feeding them. Wish I had a telescopic lens, a little better. But, okay, off to the walk to go check out the park.
This is the decoration from the Soviet era. This is an old Soviet apartment block. Kind of cool. A little bit of history. The apartments are very small. Central heating. They're cozy. You know, these old mailboxes. Russian. Pretty cool. And dark. This is for the central, I think it's the heating. Okay. And there's a lot of old apartment blocks here in the northern part of Riga anyway. But not much in the way of graffiti. The whole city so far, it's only been, the first week here. But not much litter. Noise levels very low. You don't hear cars honking. Lots of trees. But yeah, it's a pretty cool place. There are some new buildings, new apartments it looks like. But not much. Let's make it onto the main street and then head to the park. It's about half a mile. Cool little coffee shop, little vending machine. The city has really, really good bus transit from what I hear from my friend who lives here. These are like some of the newer apartment blocks that I've seen. And this main street has a bunch of old buildings. Very nice. I mean, it seems very orderly, clean, fresh air. Supermarket right here, Migo. Stores are nice. People are friendly. Well, let's continue on. Now that's some of the interesting architecture where it's a brick building but with wood incorporated in their decorations, right?
But then some of these older buildings have been modified, or modernized, I should say. But here's some of the brickwork. Looks like some of the more traditional buildings, like this one here. You can see some of the old thing for the wiring there. Older buildings. Pretty cool. Okay, just left the main intersection right there. This is like this is where the park starts, but this apartment block is in here. It looks like I just have to walk past here a little ways. Matter of fact, it looks like a lot of construction. I don't know if it's renovations or new construction, but there's kind of like the main entrance to the park right here. Just a few more feet. Okay, so that's the main road that kind of runs on the right hand side here. But I guess this is part of, I saw this yesterday, this park is part of this joined trail between the Baltic countries, and it runs all the way through Lithuania, Latvia, Estonia. You can see it up here in the map. So I think the number is E11, and it's pretty cool. And it's quite a big park. We are here, and it's huge. So we'll go, actually, let's go check it out. A lot of people out today. It's middle of the week, but I think everyone's getting out because they've been cooped up, COVID and winter. There's a big parking lot. Nice chocolate lab. Hello. Hey, dog. Okay. Let's get a little further in. It's a nice path. There's like the main path like this, and then there's these little offshoots all over the place. They kind of just wander off. I've seen people on road bikes, I've seen people on mountain bikes, people just hiking. I'm sure it gets pretty crowded on the weekends as well. But this is kind of like on the northern edge of the city. And this was, I guess, at one point in time quite remote, which served a very heinous purpose during World War II, which I'll show you in a moment. But let's just continue on for now. Check it out. A nice picture. Path. Yeah, so okay. I don't know much about the history of this region. That's why I'm here, kind of explore it. This was, you know, these countries, Baltic countries, were part of the USSR, and so just like the you know, former Yugoslavia, those countries down there, and the USSR in the United States when we were growing up in the 80s and 90s, you know, in 70s probably too, you know, Americans, we weren't taught very much about this region. And so I'm kind of in the dark about a lot of stuff, but at least during the World War II era, or actually let's go back, prior to the Middle Ages, Riga was part of the League of Nations, kind of the, I can't remember what it was called, like the, basically the merchant countries along the northern part here of Europe, and it's quite wealthy, and so it's been a very prosperous area all along. And during World War II, you know, the Russians and the Germans split up this area, and this was given to the Russians, so they invaded quite quickly. And then they immediately started shipping off people, you know, in rail cars to Siberia, to the gulags. Clean house, basically. And then after that, when the Germans went up against the Russians, then they came in and they did the same thing, you know. They got anyone who they disliked, definitely including the Jewish population, and sent them off to concentration camps. There was a ghetto, just like in Poland, the Warsaw Ghetto here. Confiscated all their property. And then this area actually, since it was quite remote, was, and I found this completely by accident. I didn't even know this existed. I was just walking here yesterday and found it. But this area, since it's kind of, especially back then, it was really remote. They would take the Jewish people out here, and basically it was the killing fields. And so there's mass graves out here. Very similar to like Bosnia. I was there quite recently. Same story, right? You get one population that doesn't like the other for whatever reason. Always tends to be greed, in my opinion, more than anything. And because they're different, they're used as scapegoats to kind of... here, I'll show you a little bit more as I'm walking. They're kind of used as scapegoats to, you know, take advantage of them and take all their stuff and exterminate them. And so this city, it's, I guess Riga's got, I did a lot of research on it last night, and there's quite a few memorials to the Holocaust here, which I was totally unaware of. I didn't even know that that existed. But such a beautiful, beautiful area, and it's got such a tragic background, you know. It's very interesting. You know, like I said, I was not taught any of this stuff. I was taught about the Holocaust, but in Germany. Maybe a little bit about Poland, but nothing about the Baltic region. After World War II, Russia took it back over and continued again to clean house, even more. Because there's a lot of Latvians that wanted the Russians to be here. There was a lot of Latvians that wanted the Germans to be here. And of course, I would suspect the majority of Latvians wanted independence, right? So anytime anyone took over, they basically eliminated the opposition in a very brutal way. But it's unfortunate because it's such a nice area. Anyway, there's also a racetrack here in the middle of the park, like for automobiles, which is interesting. I stumbled across that as well. Maybe if there's a race in the next month, I'll come watch it. Or come watch one, I should say. Okay, let's continue on the journey. Okay, this is the racetrack. It's really big, but it's open. You can actually come in here and walk on it or ride your bike or whatever. I don't think you get a motorized vehicle in here, but it's cool. They open it up to the public. So they must come from this way. Speed trap. I don't know if it's what kind of vehicles actually go on here. Must be cars. Looks like cars. You can see the tires are pretty wide. Oh, it's neat. I'm gonna take a selfie. Yeah, I bet this place, this racetrack on the weekends, if it's open to the public, is just packed with people. I mean, this is the middle of the week in the morning. cool lake in the middle of the park. And it looks like there's people swimming in there as well. Oh, that's neat. Must be clean enough water you can swim in it. Okay, let's head back this way. Okay, I've been wandering around this park for, you know, better part of a half an hour, maybe an hour. It's a pretty big park, and I couldn't find the memorial. I was like, where the heck is it? So I was looking on Google Maps, and I'm basically dead center in the middle of the park. And when you look around, you know, this is kind of like the high ground right here. Absolutely gorgeous, right? You can hear the distant city car traffic, but you know, absolutely beautiful. And I was like, where the heck is this memorial at? And I found it. And if you could see these concrete pillars, those are the markers. And so they basically took the, you know, well, I don't know how many people were actually murdered out here, but 70,000 Jewish inhabitants of Riga, they estimate, were killed. And I think only like 150 survived the Holocaust, both the Russians and the Germans. And you know, you could see why maybe they chose this area. It's like kind of hilly and secluded, and people can't watch what you're doing. And this must be the southern edge of it. And these are all the markers. These aren't indistinguishable, but those have the special Jewish symbol on it and has the year markers on it. These rectangular boxes are the pits. So this is where they dug a pit and they shot them, or however they killed them, and put them in there. And there's a whole bunch of them. They're everywhere. I mean, I could count probably at least, you know, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and there's more, you know. And I don't know where the entrance to this. Maybe I'll try and find the entrance. But such a peaceful, beautiful place, and such a heinous thing that happened here. I'm not sure what this is, but yeah, see, 1941, 1944. That's when the killings happened here. I don't know if they ever caught the people who did it or were involved. Wow, such a beautiful place though. It's unbelievable. Like I said, this happens in the Balkans, the Baltic region, obviously, Germany, Russia. You know, and it still happens in modern times. I mean, if we look what's happening in Ukraine with the Russians, never ending. Let's go see if we can find the entrance. Yeah, this is the biggest one here. It's a massive pit. Crazy. This is like the main intersection of the road in the middle of the forest. And there's just like some benches here, but there's no signage or anything saying that this is the path that you go to get to the memorial. So I don't know how people are supposed to find it. So I'm gonna head back into town. I got a broken water heater in my building, so I gotta go back and be around in case I need to get entrance into the apartment. Besides that, I'll be checking out more of Riga in the next month, and then we'll see where it goes from there. But hopefully there'll be some more cheerful, uplifting little videos of some cool finds that I run across. So, you know, subscribe and get notified when I make a new video, next time that is. And I'll catch you next time.